Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with the Beth Israel Rabbi. This Shabbat, we read Parshat Korach. Parshat Korach is comprised of Korach, Aviram, and Datan's rebellion against Moses, Aaron, and ultimately God. This is a political rebellion. It is an attempt by Korach, Aviram, and Datan to usurp the positions of leadership from Moses and Aaron. It doesn't end well. Aviram, Datan, Korach, and their followers are swallowed by the earth and killed with fire. Many of the followers also die by plague. The rabbis use the particular situation, this narrative, to define what type of disagreements we should have in this world. The rabbis explain in Mishnah Pirkei Avot that it is okay to disagree with others, but our disagreements should be l'shem shamayim. They should be for the sake of heaven, not for the sake of self-enrichment. For example, they say that our disagreements should be like the disagreements between Hillel and Shammai. These disagreements between Hillel and Shammai, these two most famous rabbis, were an attempt to figure out what is needed in this world to make it a better place. What is needed in this world in order to achieve God's will. And then they go on to say that our disagreements should not be like the disagreement of Korach. Korach's disagreement was for his own sake. It was not to make the world a better place. It was not for the sake of God, but rather it was to enrich himself. It was to usurp leadership, to put himself in charge of the Jewish people. There's a wonderful midrash that explains that Korach was at a class, was studying Torah with Moses. And he went home and his wife asked him, Korach, what did you learn today? And Korach said to his wife, I learned about tzitziot. I learned that one is to wear a talit, a four-cornered garment, and is to put on each of the four corners 4 strings, 3 of which are white and 1 which is blue. And Korach's wife said, this is silliness. What are you learning from this man? He doesn't really care about you. He doesn't really care about the people. He's giving you all kinds of crazy details because he cares about himself. Korach took this idea, and because of this, he rebelled. But it was actually the opposite. Moses was teaching Torah in order to enrich the spiritual and the moral lives of the Jewish people. He was giving details in order to connect us to God and to the rest of the Jewish people. And of course, the tzitziot of the talit themselves are a way to remind us of the mitzvot, a way to remind us of the ways that we connect to God, the way that we connect to the Jewish people, and of course, to remind us of the 4 corners of a field that are left for those who are less fortunate. And so a talit is a reminder of the fact that we need to give tzedakah, that we need to take care of others in need. I want to encourage you that every time you put on a talit, or every time that you see the tzitziot of a talit, to remember what the talit stands for, to remember that we need to connect with God, with the Jewish people, that we need to take care of those who are less fortunate, to remind us that even in a day such as ours, where there are leaders who are giving us confusing messages, trying to lead us in one direction or another, that there are people who sometimes disagree with others, but it's for the sake of heaven. And no matter what, we need to choose our leaders wisely. We need to choose our path wisely. We need to understand and remember, just what the tzitziot teach us, that we have a path in this life towards finding God, connecting to our people, and helping those who are less fortunate. Shabbat Shalom.